Lacey Van Dank. Hi.
Hello.
So we know each other from theater when we were kids.
Yes.
And I was always super jealous of you because you were clearly the most talented person in the room.
Oh no, that was you.
But thanks. So how do you feel like your background in theater? You came from there to drag. How did you kind of find drag?
Well, so I grew up doing theater since I was could freaking walk. So I was doing that all throughout school and everything, and then as I graduated high school and everything, I didn't really have an outlet so much to do that as much anymore, as I just got busy working and living and doing all that stuff. I guess that kind of performance side of my life took a backseat. And then just kind of was interested in drag. Met somebody when I was out at a bar once, and they told me about a little drag kind of contest thing, and they're like, you should totally give it a shot. And I was like, I don't know, maybe. Okay, and then a little while, a few months later, I just decided to try it. And that's just what I've been doing since. It kind of sparked that sort of theatrical element to my life, because I hadn't really been on stage or performing in so long, and then I found this, and it was a great way for me to just express myself and my femininity, and just get on stage and have fun and do whatever I want. And I've just been doing it for a little while now, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, so along that same vein, it's do you feel like drag is almost a better way for you to express yourself? Because this is, who is Lacie to you?
Lacie is, Lacie's a wilder version of myself. She's a little crazy, but in the best of ways. I think it's great because I do just get up on stage and do, whatever I want to do. I create, a look and put together whatever kind of performance I want, and I just go up there and let it all out, and I love that. If there's something that I'm going through, it can kind of help. It's a way that I can kind of channel that, or if I just want to get up on stage and have a blast and kind of share that joy with others, that's what it's about for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like so much fun.
It really is. I love it.
Yeah, so, speaking of others, what is the community like for you? Was that something that you really felt just welcomed into?
Yeah, well, at first, I went to my, home bar that I go to all the time, for the first time. Did not have a clue what I was doing, at all. I was yeah, I look pretty, I'm gonna get up on stage and, jam out to this song, and we're gonna roll with it, and it was tragic, but I had fun. It was a blast, but it was definitely not my best performance, but I was just in awe of all the people there, the show host, who is now my drag mom, Vegas Van Dank. I met her and I just started talking to her. She had a safety pin through her nose, and I was you're so cool, I want to know you. But I was so overwhelmed at the same time, because I was just oh my god, there's so much going on. And then from there it just kind of grew. I kept going to this thing every single month, and starting to meet people, make some friends, and then really found this whole awesome community.
Yeah.
Of drag queens.
That sounds. I want to be part of that community.
It's so fun.
I want to know everyone. So Vegas kind of took you under her wing.
Yes.
And so tell me what having a drag family is like. What's that about? What does that mean to you?
It's awesome. For starters, I have this group of people that if I might have some questions about just my drag and everything, we help each other out with that, or hey, do you have this something a dress like this or something like that, we can lean on each other for that, or help me with this makeup, help me with this hair. So that's great. But then also it's just this really awesome bond with people that I can really relate to and kind of understand, what it's like to be a queer person, because it's I didn't really have that before, so we're all really close, and can really help each other through the harder stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's really awesome, and I just finally feel at home, and I have people that I can share things with that most people just don't understand, even if they're like, you know, accepting or like cool with it, they just don't get it.
Yeah.
The same way as this group of people do. So it's really awesome to be around them, and we have a lot of fun together too. So
it sounds like they really give you a way to feel seen,
mm-hmm.
like every piece of you. You know, this piece, and then you know the quieter parts that
yeah.
you know, like you said, some people can't understand. So I want to touch on you are a trans woman.
Yes.
I wanted to touch on what that kind of means within the drag community for you.
So it's like, you know, a lot of people think, you know, all drag queens want to be women, and that's not true. In fact, most of the time they don't want to be women. So like there being like a trans person in the, you know, as a drag queen, like it's a little different. Like for me, like, you know, I'm Jordan, and I, you know, like to wear makeup and like nice outfits and like, you know, stuff like that. But Lacie is like a step up from that. Like she's kind of like a whole nother person, really. Yeah. And it's just like an even deeper, more intense expression of that. Yeah, it is different. Like, and we've got like bio queens, like, you know, natural born cisgender women that are also drag queens, and like, you know, there's a lot of stigma around that as well. But it's not just about, you know, being a man in a dress or whatever. It's really about playing with gender and, you know, presenting that in a exaggerated performance type way, to kind of express, you know, yourself, or all kind just different variations of yourself and gender and everything. So there's really no limit, especially for me. I think, like, you know, there's all different kinds of drag, and like there's really like no limit to what you can do. Like I love to get up on stage, even though like I am a trans woman, and I do like to look pretty. I also love to get on stage and do like some like hard punk rock type stuff. Like I'll like do like, you know, some like Aerosmith sometimes. And like I just like, but I still like, you know, have like a very feminine look. And then there are people that, you know, have like more masculine looks and do feminine songs, and it's just, I just think it's great to like play with gender in all types of ways.
It's art and it's expression,
mm-hmm.
and it doesn't necessarily speak to, you know, exactly who you are.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. So I would love to get into, you know, what kind of effect has drag had on your outside life? Like, the people around you that maybe aren't part of that community.
Well, like, you know, I will bring like some friends to the bar and everything, and like a lot of times they love it. Some people are like, "Oh God, this place is crazy," which it is. But I mean, I love that sort of, you know, thing. But yeah, no. So I have, you know, some friends that have like been kind of introduced to it and like absolutely love it. They think it's a blast. And then I have some friends that are like, "Oh, yeah, this is cool, but I don't think I'm gonna come back." And that's fine. Yeah, I guess, I don't know.
Do you feel like, is there like an internal effect that it's had on you? Do you feel like it's affected you, given you more confidence, or made you feel like you're expressing yourself?
Totally. Like, I mean, like, when I'm, like, getting ready and everything, like, as, like, the progression goes on, as, like, I get, like, my whole face and everything, like, I just start feeling, like, so confident and so, like, on top of the world, really, and, like, it just comes out, like, with each, like, step of, like, the makeup and everything, and, like, by the time it's all done, like, I just, like, feel, like, transformed, like, you, like, really feel your fantasy, and it's awesome, and I think, like, you know, now, like, I definitely just feel tons more confident in my day-to-day life, because it's really sparked that in me, for sure.
I know I've seen that in you in small doses. When we went to see Ariana Grande, and it's like you came to life. Like, I think I told you, it's like, you know, it really does. It's like meeting you again, you know, like amplified. So, what are some? I know we've already touched on like misconceptions about the drag community. And feel free to talk about, you know, the transgender community or the drag community. What are some misconceptions or stereotypes about your communities that you would like to see debunked?
Ooh, let's see.
Let's settle in.
Yeah, well, for starters, like, as a trans woman, dating is hard. It's very difficult, and, like, you know, sometimes people will sort of like fetishize it in a way, and like that's not something that like you really like want to feel, because like for me like I just want to feel like a natural lady, and like and like any other woman does. So that's like really difficult. Yeah, I don't know, like people definitely like treat you different. So I don't want to be treated like I'm like a man or anything like that, obviously. But not everyone gets it, and like even people that aren't like obviously there's people that are not like super accepting or anything like that, but like people that like are like cool with it, like just it's very hard for them to like kind of understand the mindset, and like they just like want to like try it out, and it's like this like little like, oh, I'm curious type thing, which is fine, but it's I don't know, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but
no, I hear you. It's like you don't want to be seen as as anything but what you are,
right,
and being fetishized
mm-hmm.
is it's never fun for any community.
Right.
So I guess maybe what you're saying is you'd like to see people a little more educated as to what the real experience is.
Right. And I know that's like hard, you wanna, it's hard to kind of communicate those feelings.
Yeah.
At least for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's bold just to talk about it. This is kind of, that's the goal with things like this. All right, and let's take it to a happier note.
Okay.
What is one of your favorite things about the life that you're leading now, and how drag has kind of...
Oh God, I think like the friendships that I've made, the connections I've made, and the way it makes me feel, like it really does just bring out this like huge confidence, and just this great feeling, and like the way you make others feel whenever you're on stage and stuff, like people really get into it, and like I love to like see people enjoying it, and I love to support others as well, and like watch all my sisters perform and all that, like I just love the sense of community that it's given me.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and if there was somebody that was looking to get into that community, like do you have advice like that you wish somebody had given you, maybe like before you even thought about starting?
I think like really just go for it, just start going to your local bars, talking to people. A lot of bars have, the way I got started was doing the talent show, and it's basically just like a monthly competition for anybody to enter in, and like that's how like I started, and I think that's like a great way to like just kind of get up on stage and do what you want. You start meeting people, start kind of learning the tricks of the trade, and go from there, really. I'd say just like roll with it, and try out different things that make you feel good, make some friends, and like get their advice, and just flourish.
I like that. Just flourish.
Just flourish.
Like a beautiful, beautiful flower.
Yeah.
What is your your drag sisters? So tell me what that's kind of like. Like what does it mean to you to have those people around you that can understand? Like I feel like we've already touched on this a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you've got your drag parents, and then
right.
your drag sisters.
They are like the same kind of thing, just like really people that understand what you're going through, people you can share that with, and no sort of judgment or any kind of like negative type things. Like it's really a really great like community that just lifts you up, and we support each other and help each other through things. It's just awesome.
What do you wish more people knew about the drag community?
About the drag community, I guess I wish they knew. I don't know.
It can be something silly too. It doesn't have to be serious.
Well, we're not all women, but some of us are, and anybody can do it. There's no limits to who can do drag or what your drag has to be. I mean, like, some people love to do the glamorous pageant type stuff, and then some people love to do like hard punk rock and roll kind of stuff that's like gory and monstrous, and so really you can just do whatever you want, and express yourself in any way possible with gender, with different kind of like genres, if you will. So there's no limit. That's, yeah.
Cool. All right. So one more question I wanted to ask you was, you know, with your experience in the transgender community and transitioning in your life, how has that kind of affected your relationships with the people closest to you, like your family?
It's been very tough, for sure. You know, I have some people in my family that are super, like, yeah, like, you know, super accepting and loving and great like that. And then, you know, some of the relationships are a lot harder, like, you know, specifically, like, with my mom. Like, she's, you know, she didn't handle it in the worst possible way, but definitely felt like, you know, it could have been handled better. We kind of, like, sweep it under the rug, and, like, you know, it's like kind of hush hush. Like, I just, like, went to my brother's wedding a couple weeks ago, and we had a great time, but, like, we had a whole conversation about how she didn't want any shock value with, you know, my appearance and stuff. And, like, it's hurtful to, like, you know, hear, you know, just, like, the basic kind of, you know, grounding of who you are is shock value. And, like, you know, I mean, obviously I can't be a little shocking, but
Lacey can.
yeah, but not me.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely hurtful, and, like, just kind of difficult. You know, like, you want to be as close as possible with these people, but whenever a major aspect of your life isn't, like, recognized, it's hard. It's really hard to, like, have, like, a super deep connection. And, you know, we just kind of play pretend like it doesn't exist and it's not a part of who I am, and it obviously very much is. And I think, like, slowly but surely it's getting better, but it's taken several years to get to this point, and we still have so much to go. So it's definitely very difficult, but, you know, one day at a time, and, you know, just try to explain as best as you can, you know, how you feel. I think will help with that. And, like, I've been working on that myself, because I've always not been the best at, like, you know, staying how I feel, kind of standing up for myself in a lot of situations, and I'm trying to do better about that. It can definitely be very difficult, but, you know, that's why I have the queer family that I have.
Yeah.
Because they really, you know, are super supportive. And that's really special.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
it seems like it's worth it to live your truth.
Oh, totally. Like, you know, at first, like, it was kind of scary, and, you know, you didn't want to, you know, upset anybody, or, you know, what is someone else going to think? And then, like, you know, as you just start to say, well, screw all that, you really start to find yourself, and living authentically is the most beautiful thing there is, I think, truly. Because that's, you know, that's just important. It's what makes me happy, for sure.
Yeah.
And there's obstacles with that, but there's obstacles with everything, and I'd much rather be living, you know, authentically to the fullest than, you know, hiding and being sad all the time.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it to just be yourself.
Well, it makes me really happy to see you living authentically.
Thank you.
And for the friends and the family members that, you know, we want to know how to be there for you the best way possible, what is the best way that someone like me can be an ally?
I think just, you know, if you don't get it, ask questions. Be respectful, but ask questions. And just let live, you know? Live and let live. And try to understand as best as you can. Be supportive. And if you don't totally get something, that's okay. Just do your best to understand it. And, just let everybody be. I think.
Yeah, let everybody be.
Let everybody just be themselves, and, you know, love yourself and love all the people around you.
I think that's the best answer.
I want to ask one question.
Okay.
Because the brand is called So Queer No Fear,
Yes.
can you tell me, or tell Logan actually, what the word queer means to you?
Okay. Let me think. I think the word queer for me means just being a little different, you know, and just being you. You know, I don't think there's any one definition. It's a big umbrella term for all the misfits, you know, if you will, in the whole, like, you know, sexuality, gender identity sort of realm, the LGBT community, really. It's just about being you, and whatever that may be. Everything from here to there and everything in between.
I like that.
I just have to come hug you.
That was everything that I needed.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like you got to the heart of what this brand is about
Really?
in so many different ways.
Good.
So I just want to thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. This
you.
is great.
Yeah.
I love it.